you've been with the Bitcoin way for how many years now?
Yeah, it's been about 18 months, a little over 18 months, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah,
months.
not as long. Now, to be fair, I've only been in Bitcoin for a little over 3 years. So half of my time has been with the Bitcoin way at this point.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah.
It's been a ride.
Well,
it is.
You texted me the other day, and you said like you guys have signed up how many people to run nodes now?
Oh, I don't even have a number, but I mean, every day we're helping people spin up nodes. So
dude, that's so freaking awesome. Like I just want to say publicly in a public forum, like that is doing God's work. That is absolutely worth the price of admission. If you don't know about the Bitcoin way, you should go sign up with them. They will help you take self-custody. More importantly, they'll help you set up a node. And that is one of the most important things you can do as a Bitcoiner. And I just love. I will sing your praises till the end of time if you guys just keep pushing node running. I think it's so awesome. Thank you so much.
We are. For us, it's almost mandatory. I guess technically you could opt out of that component, but we strongly advise against opting out. And it really is cool because we see, like, you know, I mean, with knots versus core or not, like we see a lot of these nodes coming online, and like we know that we're making a material impact on the number of nodes. And it's not like we've got 20% of the network set up or something, but I don't really know of anyone else who is every day multiple clients a day spinning nodes up. So
yeah,
a lot of fun, very important work to be done, I think.
Yeah, it's huge, man. It's absolutely huge. Welcome, Johnny. Good to see you this morning, sir. Thank you for joining.
Regular viewers, we're going to get people who pop in randomly. You never know every day. But every Bitcoiner goes on a journey. I mean, I know I went through it where, you're into money at all and you question what is money at some point, perhaps, or you're doing trading, you're in TradFi. You learn about altcoins, or maybe as you're learning, you dabble in the shitcoinery. And then you figure it out and you're like, okay, Bitcoin is it. And as you do that, you're off zero. You own Bitcoin. You're on an exchange. You take self-custody. You run a node. You start playing with your node. And there's or you stamp and steal, by God. And you go through this progression. And as you do that, when I hear these stories, like things that have happened recently, that the Bitcoin way has helped with people who got wrecked, made a mistake, find themselves lost, need that compass. And you hear that story where it's like, I lost 7 Bitcoin. How did I do that? Whatever. And I want to figure out, like, what in the hell happened? How does that happen? And then when you find out how it happened, it's like, at some point on my own path, as I was learning, I could have been susceptible to that too. To stay humble about it. Like, there was one point I remember I wrote down keys on a seed phrase, and my natural inclination, because just the efficiency of what's easy and quick, and it's like, oh, maybe I'll just take a picture of this, or I've got a secure cloud drive. I'll save it on the cloud drive. How many times has that happened? It seems like, how did your seed phrase get hacked? Where did you put that? And it was like on the cloud or something, or in a way that felt secure, and it was not.
Yep.
So the Bitcoin way really helps keep you based. Do it right. Don't go off the path and screw up.
Yeah, there's so many ways you can take either self-custody or something resembling self-custody, I guess, is maybe a point I would make, that you're invariably going to make a mistake if you're not going about it very methodically. And so the benefit that we have as a service provider in this area is we do the same thing every time with everyone. Like it's practically impossible to mess up, because we've all been trained the same way to do the same thing with each and every client. And, it's, for some people, it feels like this big technical hurdle they've got to get over. I can assure you, we've got 80-year-olds running nodes, and, non-technical folks of all ages. It's not that hard. It's like when, PCs first went mainstream and you had to learn how to type. At first it's, slow, and you're trying to kind of sort through what's the best position to put my fingers. It's really no different when it comes to self-custody. You just got to learn a few new skills, have some patience, be curious enough to take the time to do it, and you'll be good.
Yeah. And slow down. Like, people, when you're watching the price and you're thinking of buying, and that feeling you get where you're all zoomed out, you feel like it's time. And then as you're about to buy, I can't help it. I'll zoom in and I'll be watching, like, I want to get every little bit that I can or something, like I'm going to outthink it. It's like, slow down, focus on your base principles. What are you doing here? So like when it comes to your longer Bitcoin journey, you know, if you're not ready for maybe a certain next step, like slow down, think about it, do it right. People get kind of like excited. I mean, you get so excited about Bitcoin. You're like, you get to a next level and you're like, oh, I get it now. And I want to get in, and you leap and you fuck up. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, that was like a story that our mutual friend told us, Fritz. And I've repeated this on X a couple times. I was like, we know someone who works in Bitcoin security that had a client show up and go, hey, man, well, I heard I needed a Bitcoin address to take self-custody. So I Googled Bitcoin address and then I sent Bitcoin to that. And you look at that, and to Fritz's point, it's like, that's rushing, right? That's like just thinking you can just Google your way through something without knowing anything about what you're doing. And then that guy smoked like 2 or 3 Bitcoin on that transaction, right? But when you hear it, like people go, oh, that's BS. No one would ever do that. We go, people do that kind of shit, right? So like, I love sending people towards the Bitcoin way. Just, like if I ever meet someone who's got like our attorney we just signed up, this guy said, yeah, I think back in 2012, we had I had a client and he gave me a silver coin and a Bitcoin, like a piece of paper with Bitcoin on it. And he said it was the same amount of Bitcoin as it was silver. And he said, just hang on to this and see which one performs better. And I was like, dude, if he gave you $25 of Bitcoin in 2012, that's like 3 Bitcoin, man. Like, you're rich. He finally went and unpacked it, and like turned out he only had like 0.1 Bitcoin or something. But still, I was just like, dude, you sat on your hands and you got 12 grand. Like, that's pretty fucking good deal.
Yeah.
But the first words out of my mouth were like, dude, if you actually have $25 of Bitcoin from 2012, you need to call these guys the Bitcoin way. Don't do anything. Sit on your hands. Don't fuck around. Don't start Googling shit. Just call the Bitcoin way and they'll walk you through what to do with that now. Like, don't screw this up, man. Cause that's,
Yeah.
I mean, it all turned out to be moot, but like the first thing I do, like I met a ton of people in Vegas. They're like, yeah, well, I got a lot of Bitcoin. It's like 10 Bitcoin or something like that. It's on Coinbase. I'm just like, dude, you're a fucking high net worth guy. You need to call these guys. You need to have them help you figure out what to do with that. Like, don't keep doing what you're doing because you're just aiming to get wrecked. Like, you're just trying real hard to like fuck yourself in the ass. Pardon my French. But yeah, man, I mean, I love what you guys do. And, we actually had a lot of opportunity to hang out. We hung out in Vegas. All 3 of us hung out in Vegas, and we closed out a restaurant there. But I also got to hang out with you a bunch in Prague this last year. I saw your speech. I thought that was great, man. Like, what were your kind of takeaways from that speech? Like after you got off the stage, because you handled it like a stud, dude. I mean, you were just like, boom, just focused and clear and like no nervousness or anything. So I was pretty impressed, man. You did a great job.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that was a lot. I think the only other time I'd spoken publicly about Bitcoin was in front of about 40 people. And I did that at a local event with Natalie Brunell and Sam Callahan late last year. So yeah, it was overwhelming to imagine speaking on the main stage at Prague, but I thought it went as well as it could have. Hopefully sent some signal. People were very kind and generous with their words after, and got to meet a lot of cool people because they saw me and they knew to come up and talk to me after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I feel like, Daniel, for you, it's like your mission is as many people as we can get running nodes. Like at the end of the day, like decentralization and security of the network, like that's the thing. One of the things I'm very passionate about, and it's not something in my personal life I even have every opportunity to execute on, but is to get people using Bitcoin beyond just store of value. And I think store of value I think saving in Bitcoin is a great use case. I'm not one of those people who said that's not using Bitcoin. I use Bitcoin as a store of value. Right. But to the extent we can begin building circular economies, which was sort of the crux of my speech, I think it's an incredibly powerful way of removing Bitcoin from the hands of people like us who, not because I'm going to spend and replace, but removing it from such a central group of people into, your local farmer who maybe has no exposure today. And now they've done this transaction and like no banks were involved. Like there was nothing on the back end here that involved someone else. Like it's just this mind blowing thing. And once people begin to realize it, and then you pay them $10 for something, and then a year later they come back and they're like, wait, this is worth, $40. I think you only paid me $10 worth of Bitcoin. What happened? Yeah. And they started asking questions. So that was sort of the nature of my speech. And I thought it for speaking in front of 1,500 people, 2,000 people, whatever it was for the first time, I thought it went as well as it could have.
Yeah. It was
Not
fire,
nervous
man.
at all. And for anyone, say it's someone's first Bitcoin transaction and they're just getting used to, oh, you could pay me in Bitcoin. Okay, sure. Why not? Like, we have a buddy, Travis, who's, paid an electrician or a plumber and said, hey, are you willing to try it out? And he's like, sure. And just that gets them off zero, gets them on a path, gets them thinking about it. Maybe they don't do anything with it for a while, but after a while, they, it may click later for them, or they go, oh, well, that worked. I could do more of that. And it promotes everything about the economy. We've talked in the past about Bitcoin inherently being a property, like you own a property, and it's a property that can be used as money. And I think both are important. It changes fundamental rules to the entire property capture game, and we can just zap it around like across the world. So it's incredible.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah, I think that's, Daniel, your thesis, although I'm still admittedly trying to wrap my head around it, I think is something I'm becoming increasingly sympathetic to, in the importance of Bitcoin as a bearer asset. It breaks all of the rules of what we've known about property for the last forever, perhaps.
Yeah.
And I think it's an important thing, and it's something that you have to sit on. And for anyone who I'll show your product. For anyone who hasn't read The Great Realignment, check out Daniel's book, because it's very good. I would say it's dense. Like have some time to like sit back and ponder it, because I read it like, I don't know, maybe 8 months ago, or maybe a year ago even, and then we were talking in Vegas. And you were talking about it, and you're like, yeah, like, in my book. And I was like, I don't even remember this, because I like the amount I absorbed. I think I just need to go back and reread it periodically. But
well, thank you, man. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. I appreciate that. Like, that's, when we talk about things like whether it's the core debate or anything, right? Like, I hear people throw this idea around of like sound money and, this should be a monetary network and things like that. And I think it kind of misses a broader point. And the way I've sort of developed over the last year or so of just thinking about this problem, the problem of value, right, and exchange and things like that, like I kind of look at the idea, like the money origin story. Like I kind of think of it like I literally liken it to the sun revolves around the earth. Like I can go talk to Lynn Alden right now and say these words out loud. I go, money solved the problem of barter, and she'll go, yeah, 100%. I can go to Breedlove, say, hey, money solved the problem of barter. To go, yeah, 100%. I can say it to some guy on, on some weird island off the coast of New Zealand. Money solved the problem of barter. They go, yeah. Like it's such a standardized idea that everyone accepts as that is the facts. That is where money came from. It solved the problem of barter. And it's a myth. It's like that literally never happened. Adam Smith made that thing up off the top of his head. He looked around the world, he surveyed the world and said, I think barter used to be a problem. That's why they created money. Therefore, I will put this in my book and people will accept this as true for the rest of time. And I go, it didn't happen. Like that literally didn't happen. There was a great economic anthropologist, historian called David Graeber. He's passed away now. He was a big figure in the Occupy Wall Street movement, but he calls it the great founding myth of economics. He said there's never been a society on earth that has ever developed that way, where they went from a barter economy to a cash economy or to a shell economy or to a bead economy. He said that just doesn't happen. There are a lot of places where they had a currency that collapsed and then they resorted to barter, but it's never gone the other way. And so when I challenge that thesis, I go, look, man, money is a tool of the state. It's always a tool of the state. It's always been a tool of the state. If you go back to ancient Egypt and they said, oh, yeah, they had gold coins and whatever. What was that for? You had to go pay that money to the religious leaders, right? You had to go give that to them. And then you had to take it so they could get stuff from you. But that's what it's all about. It's what money has always been about. Pay us a tax so we don't have to steal your stuff directly. And it's like the old mob boss in, like when the mafia guy comes by in Little Italy in New York and goes, hey, Saul, I see you're running a pretty successful sandwich shop here. How about you, pay us a little money and we'll make sure nothing bad happens to your shop. And the guy goes, GFY, this is America. I don't need you. We got the police. And you go, hey, the police aren't so good at stopping this kind of stuff, Saul. So you should really pay us the tax. And Saul tells him to GFY, Sure enough, next day, all his windows get busted out, and some guy comes and conks him on the head with a stick and says, "Hey, Saul, you should really watch out for all these bad guys in the neighborhood."
Thank you for watching this video. This is just a short clip from our full episode. So if you'd like to enjoy more entertaining wisdom found in our podcasts in their full context, just click a link in the corner. We are always sharing our big ideas on Bitcoin Liberty Live.